We have to be very vigilant around here because there are a lot of turtles nesting in this area. So we have to be careful. I mean, when they hatch, they're like the size of a quarter. So we have to be careful they don't get trodden on or crushed by a bicycle or anything like that. Obviously, the more natural things that they would encounter would be birds that would be trying to pick them off. But if we can not add to that by squishing any, then that's good too. All our staff and our security team and everybody is primed so that if they see any on the paths when they're out and around the museum, because we do a lot of programming outside the museum at this time of the year, they know to move them into cover or into vegetation. So there's a little variation depending on the species of turtles. Some of them are very nest site loyal, so they'll keep trying to go back to the same location year upon year. Some of them have very specific soil requirements that they like. Most of the species that we have here around the museum will just haul up usually onto our museum grounds because they like soil that's light and soft, so anything that we've cultivated makes easy pickings for them, so they often come up onto our grounds. The females dig a hole, usually late afternoon, early evening kind of time, sometimes into the night as well. They deposit the eggs into the hole, cover them over with soil, and then that's all the maternal care they get. And then the hatchlings usually hatch late fall, early winter. They stay underground, and then once the soil starts to warm up in the spring, once it starts to get warmer, they dig themselves up out of the ground, and that's what we're starting to see now as they get on the move. We have to remember we're in the middle of a city, so a lot of the turtles that are in this particular pond are unwanted pets that have been dumped, and that's a whole nother story, obviously. Most of them are red-eared sliders, which actually is a species that doesn't naturally occur in this region, or didn't. It's now listed as one of the 100 most invasive species in the entire world. So we're not too concerned about them. Painted turtles is another common one that we see here. They're supposed to be here, and that's another one that's very often dumped as an unwanted pet. Some of the more interesting ones that we get here are soft-shell turtles we've seen occasionally in North Pond. We do get common snapping turtles, and occasionally we get map turtles as well. So those are slightly more interesting, but none of them are listed as endangered in Illinois. We in the museum do work with an endangered species of turtle, but you're certainly not going to find it in North Pond.